welcome is another fresh edition of the Fasco Cup special on Football Uncut podcast. My name hasn't changed. I am your one and only Samo Sporty. And if you not like my call me Mr. Bassa, you can always give me joy. Of course, I have my partner right beside me. Like, what's up, Mr. Chelsea?
My brother, Chelsea for life. You know, this is Fasco edition, and want to talk about how Fasco have been going up so far. If you are not at the Echo feed, you do for the playing ground. Right there, you are missing a lot.
Okay, as you know, it's time to talk grassroots football, pure grassroots football. Which is the Fasco Cup entering? Yes, the is almost close to the round of 16 stage because the third round of matches are already going on. Some teams already packed their bag and baggages and they are heading for home already. Why some their chances is still very dicey. There's a certain treasure dominion where we say they don't get one leg at home already. Now only God fit help them. But football can be crazy sometimes. That is all of that is what we're going to be discussing in the next 15 to 20 minutes right here on today's episode of the Fasco Cup special. Quickly, DK, it is no longer news. Dr. Watt and the Ofiel FA made it out of Group A. Group A is done and dusted. It has been decided. And Group B2 has been decided. Lion Heart made it out of that group alongside Maradona FA. Meaning the first set of round of 16 games is already complete. Dr. Watt will be up against Maradona FA, while Ofiel FA will be up against Lion Heart. But for me, in this round, the third round of matches, the major talking point, which has been and I think should be the major talking point for everybody that has been following this tournament within Ayaban's environment. How did the almighty MDM All-Stars, with all of the big names that they brought into the tournament, how did they crash out of the competition in the preliminary stage?
MDM. What a beautiful side, a great side.
A beautiful side that couldn't make it out of the group stage.
You know, football can be funny sometimes. That's why it's one of the best sports in the world. You know, you can't predict that this was going to happen in football. Anything will happen. Yes, exactly. You know, it's just a bad thing that MDM are out of the competition because of the great skills and great style, you know, they possess.
The kind of players they brought into
this tournament, and it's, you know, it's just football. But I also
it's always special watching them.
Yeah, very very special side. You know, the technicality, the experience, the physicality too. It's different from the way other teams have been playing so far.
The last game that finally broke the Camel's back was against Dazzling Stars. To me, they did almost the same mistake. They repeated almost the same mistake they did against New Generation. They allowed New Generation score them first, and from that point on, all their tricks didn't work. They couldn't find a way back. Now against the Dazzling Stars, that needed just a draw to progress into the next round. You allow them score you first again, and you know from that point there is going to be a third order.
Well, first of all, I'll give it to Dazzling Star. Great displacive style and the great fight they pull up that day. Because because
absolutely
the kind of honestly, the physical fight, the tackling, the struggle, all through that game,
they gave you their all.
Kudos to Dazzling Star and also to Coach Henry, because after that match, I got to see Coach Henry done the run.
Who no go get plenty joy
because it was a great.
I saw him when the game was 1-1. By the last final 10 minutes of that game, I saw their bench. I saw Coach Eric himself. I saw the tension. The pressure was written all over him. A second goal for MDM on that day could have meant something else to that young man.
Looking at MDM Star, the kind of player they possess, the kind of player they have, it will be it will be a nightmare to other teams in the Fasco competition, because
That was what we expected until the last part of the group stage.
that's football for you, my brother. That's football for you.
Kudos to that. But does that mean MDM, with all of the qualities on their side, with we believe their experienced and exposed side, does that mean that they learned nothing from the game against New Generation? For almost the same thing to have played out against them again against Dazzling Stars. Does that mean they learned nothing?
To me, I think everybody, each matches will learn one or two things. A striker in there will make a very big difference for MDM. If they have a striker like Akpata that can hold on 2 or 3 defender, you understand, when they give in, when they give a big ball.
Everybody cannot have Tunde Akpata in their team, but they have a certain Adebambo as the point man. Why supports him from that. Are you saying those two are not enough, or they didn't do enough to help get the result on the day?
I would say Ali Bambo didn't have a lot of impact in the first half. That's why he had to be substituted in the second half. And Okwe will do his best, because he had a great game that day with his midfield display. They just have to do their best. But I think with a striker in there, that quality they have, to be a difference in that squad.
I think that the best player on the MDM All Stars side for me on that day has to be a certain Ayinde, popularly known as Afa. He was everywhere. He did everything possible. Shooting power. He tried to penetrate. He tried. He even pressed to even win the ball back. Each time they lose it, just to try and find out. But unfortunately, he ended up on the losing note. That is another further testament to the fact that football is not played on paper. You might be overwhelming favorite on paper in any game, any competition, but trust me, and when you get into the pitch of play, it's going to be a different ball game entirely. MDM All Stars, they are out of the tournament, and from that group, it is a new generation and Dazzling Stars that went through. And those two sides, they must be proud of their achievement.
Definitely, because playing against MDM All Star, no be easy job, and I'm so happy for them.
Against players who have played in the MPFL, some of them are even playing outside the shores of this country. They just took back home for the summer holiday.
So I'll give kudos to MDM and then Dazzling Star, the kind of performance they put through to qualify for that, out of that group.
I haven't gone through this route to make it through to the next round. Do you think that can give them enough confidence to go all the way in this tournament?
Definitely, that should give them enough boost and enough confidence. But football can be funny. When they round of 16, make anything happen.
Talking about the round of 16, their opponent is already said a new generation. They will be up against Shanks FC. Well, I think Dazzling Stars has a more daunting task against El Cadiz. I think that is another look at them, because these two sides came from almost the same area.
Looking at El Cadiz and then
Dazzling
Star. Dazzling Star have to buckle up that defensive duty. They have to do more better
than what they did against them.
Yes, because of the two striker.
And do you think any team can do more than what they offered? That was more or less like their all against MDM.
Like I said, MDM doesn't really have a striker up front that can, get them that goals. El Cadiz have a very good two striker that can get them that goal. So they have to do more better than what they did against MDM. So they have to put in their best and their best to work on this two striker El Cadiz have up front.
Okay, another big one, I think, as far as the competition is concerned, was how 11 Lions, despite their fight back in their second match to bounce back from their losing notes, they won that match 1-0. The second game 1-0 against TIG Dragon. They fought with the whole of their life. They won that game by the skin of their teeth. Haven't achieved that. For them to not end up crashing out after their last game, I think it's actually a bad one for 11 Lions.
Honestly, it's a really disappointing, moment for 11 Lions, because look at the last performance that pulled up in Fasco editions. They have been fantastic.
Former champions they are.
Yeah, at least they'll get to the semi or
And
to the quarters or
I can't remember the last time they get knocked out of the preliminary.
honestly, and it's very disappointing looking at what they have offered so far. Their last match against New Star, coming to the match, I was looking 11 Lions to come with a great
Yeah,
spirit.
the expectation was so high on them.
But too bad some of the players failed them, and I can't really blame them.
How does it really feel to miss? I think this is one of the pains of grassroots football. No permanent players, no permanent team. Of course, sometimes you can't really blame some of these players. We know how it works within the terrain of grassroots football. But how does it feel when you come into such a game and 2, 3, 4 key players are not going to be available, and it's supposed to be a must-do?
Honestly, it's very sad, for 11 Lions and also their coach, because even looking at the bench, they have to bring in their goalkeeper.
It's sorry to goalkeeper and
Yes.
to quickly change over to become an outfield player overnight.
Honestly, it's really sad.
And that is just the sad story of 11 Lions in this year's edition of the Fasco Cup. And that is one home team going by the wayside. Another home team went by the wayside. They're talking about the Young Lion FA. Yes, Young Lion FA at the end of the end of 3 matches in the group stage, they had 6 points. But lo and behold, that 6 points wasn't enough because of their goal difference. Their goal difference worked against them. And at the end of the day, they have to wait till next year. From their group, which is Oyinbo FC and of course Junior Milan, that progressed to the next round. I think quickly, your dear New Treasure Dominion has 3 points going into their last group game. All 4 teams in Group G still stands the chance of qualifying to the next round. But the bigger picture for me is where Group G is heading to in the next round. They are heading to the Group H, where some of the big boys of the tournament are. There's Lucas FC, there's Ofiel FA, there's Adwak, there is the Gracia. First of all, do you still think Treasure Dominion can make it to the next round? And if they eventually do, do you think they will be saving? They actually postponed the bad days to the round of 16.
Looking at Treasure Dominion so far, this is our first experience in the
almighty Fasco Cup.
Yeah, the almighty Fasco edition, and Treasure Dominion coming into that competition, a lot of tension. This is the first time of coming to this kind of big competition, and is it disappointing so far? I won't say it's disappointing, because they won the first match.
With the way you don't talk, like you don't like say you don't find excuse already.
No, it's not an excuse. It's just
you are beating, emphasizing on is their first time.
Of course,
we all know it's their first time.
Yeah,
but we've seen debutants go all the way and shock even those who have never experienced that tournament. So don't make their first time into the tournament a big deal.
Looking at Treasure Dominion so far, some of those players in that team is their first time of coming to that kind of big competition. And if you look at other debutants, in that competition, they are playing more expressed side. Then they are just coming to the new team as a debutant in.
So in other words, what I'm saying now is it is all about learning and experience for Treasure Dominion in this tournament. So if they should even back out from the group stage, you shouldn't place too much to it.
And we can say that because we come to this Treasure Dominion coming to this competition is also a learning experience for them, and I know it will make them get stronger and stronger.
But no disrespect to all the other teams in that group, and I know that Treasure Dominion cannot hope or wish for a weaker group, so to say, to play in than where you guys find yourselves, and to not make it out of that group. Don't you think it's a little bit disappointing?
I won't say it's disappointing because it is football. You know, easy. Whether they are in a group of death or in an easy group, football no easy. You understand? So if they make it out of that group, it's a kudos to them. If they don't make it out of that group, they have to buckle up
and learn from there.
And learn from there. So that's all I can say about Treasure Domino.
Okay, quickly before we wrap up this episode of the Fasco Cup special, we already know, we already start seeing teams already progressing to the next round. Which has been the most disappointing team for you so far?
My disappointing team so far, I won't say MJM because
they tried. They tried,
honestly.
The results just didn't come their way.
Football, because everybody understand what they have to do, you know, to defeat this side. I would say 11 Lion. Yeah, 11 Lion. Because so far we expect more from 11 Lion. And I won't say Young Lion because
they struggled right from the first match.
Exactly, and which is it's never happened to them. So it's really disappointing from 11 Lion.
Okay, and of all the teams that have got knocked out, which one that have got knocked out so far, which one has been the most painful for you that you think deserves to still continue the tournament?
We all know it's the almighty and the great MGM All-Star.
Okay, they deserve to continue the tournament.
Yeah, definitely, because of the quality they possess.
And some people think of it, they pull a whole lot of courage to see each time they play.
Honestly,
everybody wants to watch them.
Honestly,
but unfortunately, that has been cut short.
Football is football, my brother. You know people use football. The best thing is than. So that's it. That's it about football.
Which has been the most outstanding match for you thus far?
MDM match, of course. You know, against Dazzling Star.
Against Dazzling Star.
Or I would say MDM against New Generation.
Either of the two.
Yeah, either of the two. Because that's the final before final.
Okay, and so far so good. Are you still standing with your choice of the best positioned team to win the trophy? Is it still Lucas for you? If they eventually make it out of the group stage, although they are looking so good to making it out, all they need at most, I think, or at least is just a draw to make it through. Are you still staying with them, or one way or the other with what has happened in the last few days, you are changing your mind?
No, I'm still standing on Lucas Star because they are a very beautiful side, young side to look out for, and the way they play, you know. There are three attack: Pedro, Messi, and Mata. Nickname. So I think they possess a lot of quality in that team to get to the final.
You think they can take any side apart?
Honestly, even if they meet MDM All-Star, they will put a great fight because of the attack threat they have.
That cannot happen again because MDM All-Star already have.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are anywhere close to Ayobo or you are anywhere around Alimosho, just make your way to Ayobo, straight to Idewufade, and your destination is the Ayobo Sports Arena, the one popularly known as Ecofield. Ogami, there is plenty of beautiful quality football at the grassroots level. When you get there, you will marvel at what is obtainable at that level of football. It is the Fasco Cup 2025, and it's already getting to the business stage of the competition. This is the time for us to start separating the boys from the men. Plenty of good football awaits you. Just come and enjoy yourself. The best place to be during this summer break for international European football competition, the best place to be surely is the Fasco Cup 2025. And that's how we drop the curtain on this episode of the Fasco Cup special. DK, it's time for us to say goodbye.
My football lovers, this is your boy DK, and thank you for watching this Fasco edition. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
And do not forget that you are just a DM away from getting the best of media coverage for every of your tournament. If you want your tournament to be on this platform, you want us as a team to come help you give your grassroots tournament the best of broadcast and media coverage. Just DM us, and surely we will deliver for you 100%. My name hasn't changed. I am your one and only Asamo Sport, and if you call me Mr. Basa, they tell you it dey always totori my head. Till we meet again for another fresh, exciting, interesting episode. Just continue to enjoy every football competition, and don't forget, Fasco Cup is still much going on. Goodbye.